What phrase did someone say to you that made you realize it was time to end the relationship? I can get anyone I want. I once dated someone who proudly told me, I don't do apologies. If you're looking for someone who admits when they are wrong, that's not me. That was a major red flag. It told me everything I needed to know about their ability to take responsibility and grow in a relationship. Needless to say, that was the beginning of the end. My boyfriend was talking about moving away. I said, isn't there someone here you would miss if you moved away? And he said, yeah, there's a lady at work I really like. I don't see a future with you. He smiled at me lovingly and said, you know I'm gonna kill you someday, right? Oh, you waited for me? We lived together. We had agreed to have dinner that night at 7. I headed home, made sure to clean the kitchen, etc. 730 rolls around and no sign of her, so I send a text. 8 rolls around and still no words, so I call her, ghost to VM. I wait till 830 and try calling one more time, then say fuck it and eat dinner myself. She finally showed up at 10. I was happy to see her and said I was worried and asked if her phone died. She said she was fine and just with friends. If this was the first time I would have let it go. But this was a pattern by then. I didn't end it that night, but not long after I initiated a breakup. I love making you cry. My ex would push any boundary I gave her. Uncomfortable about a social situation? She's staying longer. I want to have a nice time with my parents because it's their 50th wedding anniversary. Just trying to make an appointment for us to look at new carpet for the house, and that day is the only day they had an appointment. Any of that should have been enough, but it wasn't. I tried my best to be accommodating and not get upset. I didn't really think she was doing all this stuff just to mess with me, but sometimes I'd let it out an air of frustration or disappointment, and then it was game on. When we'd fight, she'd bring up stuff from old fights. She'd complain about my exes. We were married and had been together for a decade. Pretty much anything you can think of. Sooner or later, I'd just be apologizing. For the way I'd acted, for the girls I'd dated before her, for being born. The phrase that finally snapped me out of it? Why are you sorry? She'd fucking bully me into submission. And then once I'd cried uncle, she'd double down and make me review the whole thing, what I'd done wrong and what innocent actions she'd taken that I obviously misunderstood. I hated my life. Fuck that. Why would I say yes to something I knew I wasn't going to enjoy? This was after I spent the relationship humoring his interests, even if they didn't sound like my kind of thing, and trying to explain to him that it was frustrating that this wasn't reciprocated. Him going to call the cops and tell them you hit me. Not sure what kind of game she thought she was playing, but I peaced out immediately. I want to be able to date other people, so I said okay, go ahead. Bye. I don't care in response to me telling him I was deeply unhappy with the state of our relationship and begging him to make an effort. Who I am now is exactly who I will always be. He'll never change for you, for our kid if we have one. No one. I will always do what I want when I want. Probably when he screamed fuck you, bitch on Christmas Eve. WTF? You expect to have me for yourself the whole night? No thanks, see you tomorrow. At a nightclub. I feel like I dodged a thunderstorm with this one. Our marriage counselor asked him what he liked about me. After about a minute of silence he said she used to have sex with me sometimes. Stop acting like she's already dead. My ex-husband, when I cried my eyes out, because I had just learned that my 48-year-old mom's cancer had returned. She passed away not 2 weeks later. I divorced him the next year, but that sentence was what really finished off the marriage. I was dating an older woman in my 20s and heard her on the phone call me her boy toy. I don't know why that bothered me so much at the time, but it did. Him out with the kids? No, she was getting blackout drunk in a bar with her barfly friend. Something about him not a priority, and he loves his friends. On a side note, I was not asking to be prioritized, but the cat was already out of the bag. I wish I listened to myself more and ended it.